Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpack Trader Training Room for Thursday, February 23rd, 2023. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not to be considered individual financial advice. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds that you can afford to do without. All right. Crude and unleaded both in trades. The unleaded trade is definitely going to get both target 1 and target 2 traders positive. So this is a POQ trade. However you play it. Took an initial loss. A target 1 win, which is just a partial for target 2, and then a strong up move here, getting all 4 targets and trailing currently at 834. Crude started off with a short at 74.84. Then stops and reverses to long at 75.01. Another potential stop and reverse at 74.84, but that never triggered in, and we stayed in our original trade. So we pick up 11 at target 1 and 20 at target 2, and for 31 ticks. And our stop and reverse was 34 tick loss, so we're down 3 ticks, and we need one more trade. Good morning, Miles. Good morning, Jeff. YM is gone too far in this long trade, so that we'll look for a new setup there when the market opens. And flat on soybean, so we'll look for a new trade there as well. 849 for the unleaded stop. Just waiting for the crude trade to complete before we jump into a new trade there. Crude, the YM, unleaded, all setting new session highs. Micro Russell's setting a new session high. And less than a minute to market open. Five seconds. Market is open. YM stops out of its long trade. Looks like we're about to get a short trade. And there it is, 76. Move that down below the 20 SMA to move that down to 73. And not in that trade yet. Yep, got down to 74. So adjusted entry not hit. Good morning, Don. And And crude and unleaded continuing to push upwards. I didn't call it, but soybeans picked up a long trade, this purple trade. Target at 39.75, 39.50 or 50 or 75. $39.75. The Russell still no trades there. Okay, YM 50 EMA is up to 175, and I would say let's move one more tick, get 2 ticks away from that swing low to 72. And the trade stops out, so it's off the table anyway. And just chart level adjustment, keeping us out of that losing trade. Soybeans setting a new high, session high. Still trying to work up to 39.75. And crude stopping out. $64 for the entry on the short. We need 3 ticks to get positive. And that short trade triggers in. YM also triggers a short. Here again, it's right at the 20 SMA. This time, we definitely got triggered in. Looks like it was at 204. Yeah. The adjustment around the 20 would have been awfully large. Would have been around 5 ticks. 26 tick target might have been worth it. But it looks like we're going to get money management. And yes, there's money management. Crude trying to make it to target. Well, if we get to target 1, that's the third trade, so this is the last trade anyway. Unleaded, of course, was POQ on the trailer. Target 1 achieved on the YM. That will be a POQ session there. One and done. And this trade completes. I believe 199 would have been the proper, even though it's a 5-tick adjustment, I think that would have been the entry we're looking for with the EMA at $202, or the S20 SMA at $202, and stopping out at 197. So that completes the trade. 21 on the target and 2 on the trailer. So 23 ticks, not a big morning, but all right. Now crude money management is 41. Crude looks like it got as low as 42. This is a case where I would move the stop in that case to trade for profit and not get a losing trade out of this, but get myself positive. So we're down 3. I'd have put 4 ticks in it and stopped out. So I would have put it at 4 ticks would be 60. I'm afraid that's what I would have done that, and I'd have gotten taken out. But I would have been 1 tick positive on the day for 3 trades. Not going to take a losing session getting that close. Still no trades on the Russell. Let's check in on the MNQ. 934, 834 exchange time is our start. That's right in there. Ooh, that's it's a matter of where our start time falls in there. No, that's right. That hit the stop. So we're out of that trade. That's a no trade. In all likelihood. It's a loss otherwise, but if we were able to get into it, but I would take that as a no trade at this point. All right, if you didn't move the stop on crude, you're still in the trade. As I said, I would have. Looks like soybeans hit target 1 and then came back and stopped out for a couple of ticks. So that's 6 ticks on the trailer and 18 ticks on the day, one and done. Long setup on both the micro NQ 27.25. If you didn't already get into it, move that up to, I would say, 28 even. Russell stop, that's a full stop out. Hopefully both of those were avoided. And crude hitting target 1 after all of that. So crude gets positive. Alright, Jeff, let's see. YM and soybeans are done. Crude and unleaded are done. We're basically just watching and, oh shoot. We got a Russell short. Looks to me like that Russell short was probably avoidable. Spiked through the entry and then went back and tested and came back down again, but probably avoidable. So I'll say we've avoided both of those two trades. And we avoided the long trade on the micro NQs, so waiting for new setups on both of those. All right, Jeff, while we're waiting for something to work with, stop and reverses. That the crude stop and reverse is a good example. Our initial trade was the short at 74.84, and I mentioned the long set up at 74.97, so stop and reverse adjust 2 ticks to 99. That's certainly a key level to 75.01. So that's where our stop and reverse, our first stop and reverse is, and we do stop and reverse to long. So we're in this trade. Right there, or actually, let's put an up arrow beneath that. Long trade on the Russell. Yeah, 10 seconds on the bar. Should be in that trade. hitting money management. So stop comes to 12.3. No trade on the MNQ as yet. Yeah, that's the same thing I'm doing, Jeff. With the exception of the MNQ, because that's a 12-point bar. Targets 3 and 4 on the Russell, trailing at 13.4. On unleaded, because of the size of the tick, I use 4-tick stop and reverse adjustment, as well as a 4-tick entry offset, just because the speed the market moves and the difficulty sometimes in getting into some of those trades. But crude, yeah, 2-tick stop and reverse adjust, and key levels. So we had 75.01 for the initial long trade. Then our short trade, as I mentioned, that was at 74.87. So that comes down to 85 on the stop and reverse adjust, plus 1 for key level, brings us to 84. And I didn't look at that earlier, but actually I would have brought that. You got the 50 EMA there as well. I don't want to go 5 ticks, but 83 is probably a good place to try to hide it. And that kept us out of the short, so we stayed in the original long and got a bigger target 2 out of it. We'd have gotten an 01 to the same target 1, but target 2 would have only been 17 ticks rather than 20. And yeah, I use an 8-tick proximity for the blue and yellow trades, and the purple trade or magenta trade there, which would be the 200 EMA. I use those, but those are probably not in your trade plan. But I use an 8-tick proximity. Russell, nice long, 16.3 for the stop, beyond target 4. Well, I called the live call. I called 84, which still kept us out of the short, but that would have been right on the. I didn't notice that the EMA was at 83 when I call that. Trying to watch too many things, and I'd put it on the 50. 4 ticks is enough there. But as I say, the 3-tick adjustment was enough to keep us out of the trade. But yeah, that's my. I really don't have a. Those are my hard rules for stop and reverses, and if they're there, I take them. As far as the two loss rule for crude, if I have stop and reverses that are less than half of the full risk, I will go ahead and take the third trade. If both stop and reverses are more than half the original risk, then I'll leave it alone. I will stop at that point. So that's kind of where I would be. Here's another long trade for the Russell, 18.8. Yeah, and we spiked up to it, so go ahead and make it 3. Go to 19.1, because we put you at 18.9 if you push it up 1. So. Pound Aussie still flat on the morning. Nothing new on the MNQ. And the Russell hit the stop, so that's an avoided trade with the adjustment. So the Russell has 1 trade in the books this morning so far. A nice win. And things just kind of going sideways at the moment. All right. Nothing on the horizon at the moment, although we're not too far away from. Let's see. Okay, there's a crossover to the long. So if this bar closes up on the MNQ, we'll get a trade. So basically, yeah, as far as that goes, Jeff, as long as at least one of them is less than half, I'll go ahead and take the third trade. Basically, for that 2 losses, I look at a stop and reverse as if it cuts the risk in half, I'm not going to count that as a loss for that POQ calculation. Because in that case, the third trade is very likely to get you. It may not get you positive, but if you can get targets, it's going to mitigate any loss you've got on the 2 stop and reverses. But basically, a stop and reverse is just another trade. There are just a few more rules that we have when you encounter it. As far as canceling a stop and reverse, if the unadjusted trade triggers, the stop and reverse I'll keep the stop and reverse in effect till it either hits the triggers or hits the stop for the reversal trade, or a new, if it since the calculator will be tracking the reversal trade, if you get a new trade in the original direction that triggers, that'll also cancel the stop and reverse. But otherwise, it's normal cancel rules, and you play it according to your rules. Whether once you have a stop and reverse that cancels, you move your stop back to the original, or you have the choice of keeping your stop where it was, keeping the stop at the reduced risk level and just canceling the reversal trade. That's quite not at all uncommon when the market's just going back and forth, and you got a choppy market with the EMAs just paralleling each other, or if it's a choppy trend, either up or down, the same thing. But trying to quantify that with rules is a real challenge. All right, the Russell showed us a short trade. It just hit the stop. And I'm afraid that's definitely a loss, because we had 11 seconds to get into the trade. So that one's a loss. One win, one loss on the Russell. And I would say chances are this long trade on the MNQ is avoided. Is avoided. It did hit the stop. I'm going to assume it spiked through and then came back down. But that's something if you're testing, you'd have to check it. $10 a.m. crude session coming up. In less than a minute. We will do the 10 a.m. crude session since the inventory report is not until 11 this morning. And there's our trade, 75.76. Target 2 is the actionable target at 91. Money management at 86. Another long trade on the Russell, 20.1. Pound Aussie, just a lackluster market this morning. No overbought, oversold readings since the last successful long, and that was back. That trade set up around 7 o'clock this morning. And just a meandering trade on crude and a short trade on the Russell. 15.9. Short trade on the MNQ at 24.25, 24 and a quarter. Money management on the Russell. Big trade on the MNQ. I would take profit at target 1. Okay, the Russell at money management stop at 15.7, it looks like. Hitting target 2, and a stop and reverse at 67. Good morning, Pamela. And we did stop and reverse. So we stopped and reversed at 67. So 57 is our money management. And it looks like that was that was one tick below. So targets 3 and 4. And good morning, Monty. And target 1, take profit on that large trade. Where break-even stop moves up. Russell trailing at 12.1. Crude hitting money management, not quite getting to target. And so we just stopped out at 66. So we went 76 to 67. So 18 tick, 9 tick loss times 2 positions for 18. We picked up 2 ticks on the trailer. So we're down 16 with 1 trade to go in the 10 a.m. session. 11.1 for the Russell. Russell pulling back off session highs. MNQ almost to target 2 for this on this trade. And there it is. So that is 2 big targets. 30 3/4 to target 1, 52 1/4 to target 2. So 83 points on those 2 targets. Points, not ticks. So what, 332 points or 332 ticks? All, and that's just on those 2 positions. You got to get a little bit more. We're down to the session open on the MNQ. Russell at 10.1 on the trailer. Russell's still surviving. We're way below the stop on the micro NQ. That still hasn't come down, started to trail down from the break-even stop. We got to get a little bit beyond, got to get beyond target 2 before we'll start trailing. In between targets 2 and 3. Okay, Russell is still surviving. Stop at 10.1. 096 for the Russell stop. And there it goes. Russell just stopped out. Getting very close to where we'll start trailing, so we're going to get about a 40-point move in the trailer when that happens. If that happens. Looking for one more trade on crude. Two wins, one loss on the Russell. And the Russell moving up. YM trying to move up. We're hitting the 20 SMA. YM in a little bit of a squeeze zone there. 50 pinching down to the 200. And I got chat covered up again. And M and Q starting to try to move up a little bit now. Need another push downward to start trailing here. Our stop is still up at 224 flat. Giving this trade lots of room because of the wick on the setup bar. Trade size is almost double what it normally would be. But with 83 points in hand, we can give this one some room to, and a stop and reverse. 94.50, and take that to 95.50. And I believe, yep, just triggered. So reversing at 95.50. That was avoided. That was that one was, I believe that was our loss. Then we got, so we got one loss, and we're in the second trade, or in the third trade. We got a loss and a win. And let's see, our entry was 24.25, to 95.50. So 4.5 points and 24.25, 29.75 to our 83 is 112.25 points on that trade. Actually more than that, because we would have had 2 positions still working. So 29.25 times 2, or 29.75 times 2. So 58.5. No, 59.5. Big win. New short trade on the Russell. And a full stop out on that long trade. 2 losses and 1 big winner. $132.5 points on the win. So we're basically slightly positive after 2 normal losses. I believe a loss with the full 4 positions is around 62. Yeah, 15.5 times 4. Yeah, 62 points. So 124 points. We're up 8.5 points. All right. Not many trades this morning on the Micro Russell and the Micro NQ, but they've been, especially the Micro Russell, been very successful. And we're at least basically break even at this point on the MNQ. Two full losses, but that one big trade getting target 2 and heading over 132 points. So leaves us at this point 8.5 points positive. After 2 losses. And the Russell trade is valid because that hit the stop before coming back and hitting the entry. This could be a loss on the Russell as well. And I missed that long trade on crude. Since we were looking for one more trade there. That was an entry at 75.68. Money management 75.78. Targets 2 and 3 in this case. Target 1 is not on the table because it's a smaller trade. Well, I say that we had 76 to 68. That was 16 tick loss. Actually, we would be POQ on Let's see, we got 11, 12. So no, we'd still be down 4 because we didn't get to target 3. No, we've gotten 10. Or no, actually 58, yeah, 57 would have been money management, so we just got 2 out of that. So we're down 14, and there's money management and target 1, or target 2 rather, for 12. So we're down 2, actually down just 1. Stop at 69. We need a couple of more ticks, so we need to stop to come up to 72 to get us positive, or target 3. Market's slow this morning. Since we're all, I'll leave 1 tick of risk on. Leave the stop at 69, and it did stop out. That's trade 3 and done for the morning on crude. So now for the 10 a.m. session, now we wait for the crude inventory report. So are there questions? More questions or comments? I can take couple more questions, and I'll need to shut it down and transition over to crude inventory report. Potential short trade on the MNQ still valid, has not triggered when it hit the stop, so we're still fine there. I can do that, Monty. I just need your contact information. You want to email me? And would you rather do a telephone call, or you want to do a Zoom call so we can look at charts back and forth if you want to? Let me know in email, and I will either call you or send you since my Zoom is licensed, we won't be limited on time. So I'll just send you a Zoom link. All right, yeah, I'll send you a Zoom link, Zoom invitation. If you'll send me your email, send me an email. That's obviously going to be after the crude oil inventory report, which will be at 11. So Okay, another long trade on the micro NQ and a long trade also. And it looks like ultimately we ended up with a full stop out on the Russell. And a long trade on the Russell now, as well as a long setup, 97.25 on the MNQ. Short didn't trigger, and the long setup canceled that. Right, looks like AT&T got whatever their network problems were that were giving me all sorts of grief yesterday and first thing this morning, but just before I was ready to, I was having trouble getting OBS attached to YouTube until all of a sudden things cleared up and it started working fine. So, looked like they had DNS issues. Because once I'd connect to a site, it would load just fine. But getting connected, it was a real problem this morning and last night. All right, long on the Russell, long on the MNQ as well. All right, folks, not much. Oh, and the Russell is another loss. That's another full loss on the Russell. I believe, yeah, it definitely stopped out. So that's 2 losses. Do we have another one? Yeah, Russell is done. That's the 3rd loss. And the MNQ is headed the same way. This will make for a losing session on the MNQ. Yep, there it is. And that's a larger than usual loss of 20 3/4. So that's going to be 83 points. That wipes out our big winner, actually notwithstanding the trailing positions that we gained profit on the stop and reverse. So MNQ is done as well, and now everything's headed down, of course. All right, folks. I believe we're pretty well done. Still nothing from the pound Aussie, so unless there are further questions, am going to call it a day, and we will see you in about 30 minutes, or just under 30 minutes, for the crude inventory report. All right. Everybody have a wonderful day. And we will see you in a little less than 30 minutes. See what the crude inventory report has for us this morning.